Hey friends, before you go on that green card, things are starting to get really interesting with U.S. immigration. Can Donald Trump give you a green card? Hey guys, before you file for your spouse, all right, here we are. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you're doing well. Come on in, say freedom now, freedom now, freedom now. We're going to spend the next few minutes talking about breaking news that we received today about TPS for Haiti. All right, if you are out there and you're connected at all to anyone who has TPS from Haiti, share this session with them. Type in freedom now, guys. Say hello and where you're watching from. I'm Latoya McBean Pompey, an immigration lawyer in New York, working with clients globally at McBean Law, where we believe that freedom is now. Our phone number at McBean Law is 914-898-9488, and we're reachable for you to come in or call us and have a meeting with us about your immigration problem. In this one, guys, and this is to everyone, okay? Here you have YouTube, McBean Immigration TV. We have Instagram, we have TikTok, we have Facebook. I wanted to share this news with everyone that today DHS Secretary Kristi Noem has rescinded the TPS, the extension that was granted to Haiti. Okay, the TPS, temporary protected status extension granted to over 500,000 Haitian nationals in the United States. TPS provides a work permit, and it also provides the opportunity for some individuals to travel, and they're protected from deportation when they are on their TPS status. Haiti has been designated as a TPS country since 2010, and under the first Trump administration, Trump 1.0, they tried to get rid of TPS. They were not very successful during that time, and it has been here all these years and available and made available now to 520,000 Haitian nationals. The issue now is this. Before President Biden left office, he had extended TPS for Haiti. They took a very long time to make the decision about whether or not to extend it. They extended it to February of 2026. That's the end date. Today, what the Secretary of Homeland Security did was she rescinded that 18-month extension and dropped it down to 12 months. So as a result, the new end date, so to speak, is August 3rd, 2025, unless extended. Okay, and I'm gonna, if you're watching on McBean Immigration TV, I'm gonna take you into the press release that DHS issued today, indicating that the new end date is August 3rd, 2025. Let me read a little bit of it for you guys. Come on in and say freedom now. We're talking about breaking news involving TPS, temporary protected status for Haiti. Now, it says here in the press release that today Secretary Noem vacated a decision by the previous administration to extend Haiti's TPS by 18 months. As part of this move, Haiti's TPS will end on August 3rd, 2025, unless extended. This is part of President Trump's promise to rescind policies that were magnets for illegal immigration and inconsistent with the law. With this language in here, guys, obviously it doesn't sound like they're planning to extend this, okay? So it gets a little worse. The press release also says here that TPS is a type of immigration status available to nationals of certain designated countries that allows aliens, even if they entered the country illegally, the ability to reside temporarily in the United States. And the Secretary is authorized to designate a foreign country for TPS if there is an ongoing armed conflict, an environmental disaster, or extraordinary and temporary conditions. Then it goes on to say, for decades, and this is they're setting the stage here, or the rationale for why they will not extend this. Okay, TPS for decades. Where am I? For decades, the TPS system has been exploited and abused. For example, Haiti has been designated for TPS since 2010. The data shows each extension of the country's TPS designation allowed more Haitian nationals, even those who entered the U.S. illegally, to qualify for legal protection, protected status. And then it says in May of 2011, DHS estimated that 57,000 Haitians were eligible to register for TPS. Then fast forward to 2021, DHS estimated that 155,000 Haitians were eligible for TPS, and then by July 2024, the estimate skyrocketed to 520,000. And then the secretary says that, Biden and Mayorkas attempted to tie the hands of the Trump administration by extending Haiti's TPS status by 18 months, far longer than justified or necessary, and we're returning integrity to the TPS system, which has been abused and exploited by illegal aliens for decades. And President Trump and Secretary Noem are returning TPS to its original status, temporary. Okay, so there's more to talk about, okay? So and we're going to get into also what they're doing with regard to those who came in under the other parole programs, Cubans, Haitians, other Haitian nationals who came in under parole, Venezuelans, and other people momentarily, and the big change that happened with all of those people yesterday. But for now, if you're out there and you have TPS and you're from Haiti, just know that your new end date is actually in August of this year and not next February under that extension. Guys, you've got to think about, thank you for that. Double tap the screen if you're watching on TikTok. Thank you so much for being here. The guys, now is certainly the time to see if there's anything else out there for you, right, with your immigration status. This is going to be a huge, huge blow to the Haitian community. And we have a lot of clients who have TPS from Haiti and some other countries, of course, but Haiti. And so we're working with them right now to get them on track for permanent residency, which is really where you want to be. Yesterday, this is different news now. Yesterday, and you guys may have heard about it, and I've talked about it last night in my live session on social media, that the individuals who entered under the CB1 app, those who entered under the United for Ukraine's program, then also those who entered under the CHNV parole, Cubans, Haitians, Nicaraguans, and Venezuelans, and other family reunification parole programs. You are here in the United States. Quite a lot of you are here, and you might have applied for asylum. You might have filed for adjustment of status. You might have filed an I-130 petition. You might have filed an I-765, and you're waiting for the government to process your paperwork. They are pausing all of that. They are pausing all of it based on what they consider concerns of fraud and national security and public safety issues. They paused those applications. Now, according to the American Immigration Lawyers Association, AILA, they said to us in an update about this yesterday that they believe that cases might continue to be worked on by the officers at USCIS. but this pause will limit their ability to make a final decision in your case. So all of this is paused indefinitely. The pause is in place indefinitely while government officials work to identify potential cases of fraud and enhance vetting procedures to mitigate concerns related to national security and public safety, according to the directive. Okay, so that's a lot, right? There's a lot there as far as what I've just shared. Let me just pop back up here. So now is certainly the time to see what your options are. Now, for all of these individuals who came in under these parole, their options have shrunk significantly because they are actually on track to become legal here permanently, yet the government has wrongfully paused their application process for legal lawful status in the legal long-term status in the United States. In my view, the intent there, as I've shared with you, for those who came in under the parole over the various parole programs over the last 2 years, the intent certainly, and they put this out there in a memo, is they are seeking to issue either a notice to appear in immigration court for these individuals or to do expedited removal of these individuals. So now is the time to work with a lawyer to get very aggressive to secure your future in the United States if you fall into any of these scenarios, particularly Haitians, TPS individuals. They're cutting it short. Okay. All right. So with that being said, I'm going to answer some questions. Okay. Let's go with some of your questions. Freedom Now. Termination of TPS, Haiti's TPS just posted. That's what this is all about. I talked about that earlier. Thank you. Instagram is good to go, right? Okay. Thank you. Good to be here with you guys. I hate to talk about the bad news like this, but you know what type of environment we're in. A lot of it is bad news right now, and I'm sorry that this has happened. They're cutting it short for with Haitians, TPS. Someone says that I'm here on a J1. Can my grandmother or aunt help me to get a green card? Joshua is asking. So Joshua, the grandmother or an aunt can't help you in that particular way, not unless somehow you might be eligible. I don't know, for under Section 245I. Most people are not. It's a very difficult type of qualification to meet, but no, there is no category that would allow the grandmother or aunt directly to file a petition for someone. And again, it sounds like you're an adult as well, so adoption, sometimes the way you hear that it works is if the grandmother or the aunt had adopted the individual before they turned 16, and then some other requirements are met, and then that's how those individuals can get a green card. What about Cameroonians, TPS? I have not heard any news yet. I think they're doing this little by little. We know that for Venezuelans, their end date is coming up very, very soon. If you're from Venezuela and you have, it's an April end date, but some of us lawyers are making there's an April end date and a September end date for Venezuelans with TPS. Some of us lawyers are making an argument that the April end date folks, that you can make an argument that you should get an automatic 6-month extension, okay, based on the fact that the Secretary Noem, did not announce her decision early enough in the Federal Register to meet the deadline for the 6-month extension not to kick in. So work with a lawyer who believes that. Some lawyers don't believe that. Okay, fine. We always disagree anyway as lawyers, but work with a lawyer who believes that and who could maybe fight for you. So we know Venezuelans, their TPS is out this year. Haiti, I don't expect them, after this press release and what she said in this press release, I don't expect them to extend TPS for Haitians. Cameroonians and others, I don't think it's gonna work out, but we'll have to see, okay? What is TPS? Rashawn is asking. TPS is temporary protected status, which allows our government to not or hold back on deporting individuals who is from a country that we have designated as a TPS country where there's a national disaster, a war, or something major has happened there that makes it unsafe to deport or send people back to those countries. I think the US government, even under the Biden years, they dragged their feet with TPS for Haiti in the last designation. And a lot of Haitians were very worried about it, and they extended it, but now they still have it, but a shorter designation period, okay? Let's see. If a paroled person gets married, is that case going to be paused too? Fanny is asking. So Fanny, the individuals who were paroled over the last couple of years through the programs that I've mentioned, they have marriage cases in process right now, adjustment of status cases that have been paused. They have work permit cases that have been paused. This was announced yesterday, okay? Yesterday. Okay, good question. Thank you. All right, thank you. Let's keep going. Could they do something similar with DACA? DACA is a little tricky, I think, because President Trump said before becoming president a second time that he wants to do something for dreamers. You know, he groups them all together, DACA holders, dreamers. So he wants to do something with Congress. And we're waiting. We're waiting on that. The DREAM Act has been reintroduced, and we're waiting. Okay. Let's see. Someone says that I'm looking to adopt a child from Honduras. How long does that process usually takes? I don't know how long that process takes. I know it's a very complex process when you're adopting and then you're filing for an individual for a green card. It's a good process. It works. It just work one-on-one with an attorney about it, because there are certain key parts of this process that timing is very critical, and you don't want to miss a particular phase. Okay, thank you. Did they cancel TPS for Haitians? They have not canceled it, Emmanuel. They have not canceled it. They have just said that it was once extended by 18 months, and now it's extended for 12 months with a new end date of August 3rd, 2025. That's the new end date, unless extended. We don't expect them to extend it based on the sharp language in today's press release from DHS, criticizing the fact that it's been around since 2010 so long, and temporary means temporary, and there's no further justification to keep it in motion. But they have not canceled it at this time. Okay, thank you guys. Freedom Now. Type in Freedom Now. Okay, talk about the I-751. I-751 is the removal of conditions petition that allows the 2-year green card holder who got the green card through marriage to be able to get a 10-year green card. There's nothing much to say about this other than with respect to travel. Okay, people with the 2-year green card, from what I understand, specifically those who had the 2-year green card and they tried to do the I-751 process and their case was denied, yet they were able to get permission anyway to travel and leave the United States. Those individuals we're hearing are being detained by CBP or by ICE when they try to come back into the United States. So it's advisable that if you are a green card holder or if you had the I-751 case denied and you're in removal, that you do not travel internationally at this time. That's the main travel alert that I have, and I've seen other people say other things about the 2-year green card that they're hearing. I can't verify that information, so I'm only sharing with you what I can verify. Thank you. What do you think about special immigrant juvenile status? That's statutory. It's protected by Congress. I have not heard any attempts to touch that humanitarian process. Let's see. Someone says, what if you've already received the TPS with the 2026 expiration date? Honestly, in my opinion, it's not going to matter. It's not really going to matter. It ends in August of this year. That's my opinion on that. Can I travel domestically with my TPS? You could travel domestically with your driver's license at this time. Whatever approved document is on that TSA list, that's what you can travel with, okay? Double tap the screen. Thank you for watching today. I'm doing a Q&A after I had covered the news about TPS extension for Haiti has been reduced to, dropped down to August 3rd, 2025. That's the new end date unless extended, but I don't think that they're going to extend TPS for Haiti. Thank you. Okay, freedom now, guys. Thank you. Let's see. How long is the adjustment of status cases paused? Ariel is asking. So these, it's an indefinite, okay? Ariel, what I just read for you guys from the American Immigration Lawyers Association is that the pause is in place indefinitely while government officials work to identify cases of fraud. So I don't know how long they're going to pause this. I'm just going to tell you how I see it, right? I see it from the standpoint of, they want to pause, they want this group of individuals, right? Those who came in over the last 2 years, they want to remove them fast, quickly, expeditedly, or fast track deportation. They want to remove them fast. And if you're on track to get in a green card through asylum or through the other adjustment of status or something else, they're trying to short circuit this. We've got to fight against it. We will be fighting against it if any of our clients are impacted by this. We will be fighting very, very, very hard for our clients. But I don't know how long this is going to be paused. Last year, the USCIS paused one of these parole programs. You guys remember that? It was paused for just a short period of time, and then they opened it up again. I think it was the CHNV. Yeah, CHNV was paused briefly last year for the same reasons. Oh, fraud. And then they opened it up again. I don't know how long this one's going to be paused, okay? Thank you, guys. Freedom now. Freedom now. Keep going. Double tap the screen if you're joining today from TikTok to encourage the algorithm. Thank you. Let's keep going. How can we change our status from TPS to potentially a green card? Your office told us there was nothing to do at the time. So if when our office met with you and told you that was based on us understanding more about your background. Everyone's background is different. Some people can go from TPS to adjustment of status, and we work on those cases all the time. Some people can go from TPS to reopening a removal order case and terminating it, and then to a green card after that, and we do this very frequently. So it depends on whether you have a pathway to a green card. A lot of people with TPS today do not have that direct pathway to a green card, which is why TPS is so critical for them, to allow them to be able to be here lawfully, work, and travel. So that's why this news is especially, devastating and painful to a lot of people today. Thank you. What about the 10 years green card? Is it safe to travel internationally? I answered a lot of questions like that last night during the live. And I said that if you have a green card, I made 4 points about it. If you have a green card, it is fine to travel, safe to travel with your green card, but do not play the game of living in another country and coming back to the U.S. once a year, because this administration will not tolerate that game anymore. Number two, do not stay out longer than 6 months, because you could face different types of questions when you return to the U.S. and be placed in secondary, and it can be very embarrassing, but you have a right to come in. You're a lawful permanent resident, but you don't want them to think you've abandoned your residency. Then the other point that I made last night is if you have a removal order and a green card, I'm sorry, if you're in removal and you have a green card, that you should not travel internationally at this time. And I forgot what my fourth point was, but you could watch the live session from, oh, this is the fourth point. The fourth point is if you need to stay out longer than a year, or apply for a re-entry permit before you leave the United States. Okay, and that's renewable, and you'll be able to stay outside of the United States for a good length of time with your re-entry permit. What happens or after it ends? Will people be deported? I I suspect that they will move. Some people with TPS are already in removal proceedings. Some people with TPS already have a deportation order, and we work with them quite frequently. We have a lot of individuals like that on our docket. But then there are others with TPS who are not in removal. I suspect that maybe they will move for a notice to appear. I don't know. We'll have to see what they do after everything is wrapped up. If they just decide not to extend it, right? Okay, let's keep going. Freedom now, guys. Thank you. Someone says that, let's add this to the broadcast. I'm a green card holder and just basically want to know if there's a website to find out the reasons why I was sent to secondary at immigration. So I don't know. I can't point you to any resource right now on this live session. What I can say is that if you stayed out longer than 6 months, then they are going to query you and ask you a lot of questions. It's even possible for them to ask you questions about how you obtained the green card, and if it was a marriage case that landed you the green card, they are actually free to ask you certain questions about that too. They have a lot of latitude at the CBP port of entry to ask you a lot of questions when you open yourself up to that level of scrutiny by staying outside of the United States longer than 6 months with your green card. They could also, another reason is maybe you had committed a crime involving moral turpitude before you left America, right? And then they see that in the system. That's a huge issue for them to issue a notice to appear or detain you, green card holder. So there could be a number of reasons why they would put someone with a green card who has a green card in secondary questioning. But primarily it's because of how long you've been outside of the United States. All right, let's keep going, guys. Freedom now. Type in freedom now. Thank you for being with me on this Thursday evening. This isn't going to be too long. Let's see, what other questions do you have? Now is the time to really try to secure your long-term status in the United States. And now is the time to understand what your rights are and work with a lawyer who you like, know, and trust. Someone says, if a parole person is married to an American citizen and has a recent removal order along with children, what can be done for that person? Charm is asking. So we will be looking at what led to the removal order. first of all. When did you get married? Is it a bona fide marriage? You have children. Is it for the American citizen? I don't know what those facts are. We would be looking to see if there's a way to move you forward by, I don't know if it's probably too late for an appeal of the court decision there. We would be looking to see if there's a pathway to a green card, number one, and reopening that removal case, number two. Okay, let's keep going, guys. Let's see. We'll have an approved I-130 and an I-601A in the process, and owning a business and have no criminal record help you at all if you're arrested? I think so. I think it sounds like you have a good record, background, I should say. I don't know anything else about you, but if arrested, a motion for bond is something that we would be seeking, and maybe arguing some of the details that you have shared here in this live session. Thank you, guys. Double tap the screen and say freedom now. Share this live session with your feed if you're joining today on Facebook. Double tap on TikTok. Are they still accepting PD cases? Yes. Yes, they are. That has not been shut down entirely, okay? There is still discretion. There's just ways of doing it now. It's a little different. It's a little trickier. But yes, that is still possible, okay? Thank you, guys. Good question. What did they pause? So yesterday, what they paused the applications that are in process for individuals who came to the United States over the last couple of years under the various parole programs that President Biden had in place. They paused those applications, the work permit applications, the adjustment of status, the asylum applications. They paused those ones, okay? For those who recently came to the United States under one of those family reunification and parole programs. Specifically, it's the CHNV, United for Ukraine. And then there is the family reunification parole, which I've mentioned already. And then there are a few other ones here on this list. Okay, so all of those applications related to those parole programs. You might be saying, well, why did they open, they allowed us to come in through all of these opportunities, and now they're just going to stick it to us. Well, it's happening because it's a new administration, and they're trying to send a very strong signal everywhere. By the way, there's crickets happening at the border right now, like crickets. Even New York Times did a very extensive article about the fact that they are bored at the border. People, they don't have anything to do. The shelters are closing there because no one is around. People aren't trying to come in nearly at the level that was happening before. Why? Because this administration has their propaganda machine going, and it's so effective and it's working, and people do not want to be sent to Guantanamo Bay. So that's why now they are continuing this toughness of shutting things down, like these parole programs, and saying, if you came in that way, guess what? We're going to stick it to you. We're going to actually stop your process. We're going to try to stop your process for lawful long-term status, and then we're going to try to place you in removal or do expedited removal. That's how they are sending a signal to the rest of the world that America is closed for now. But it is not closed. But that's the message that they are trying to send to the rest of the world. Freedom now, guys. Freedom now. Let's go. Freedom now. Let's see. Someone says, I'm 40 years old. I've been here my whole life. I'm married with 2 kids, U.S. citizen. Children, I have a 22-year-old felony. Had a green card at the time, but it was suspended for the crime. I don't know what this felony is. You said you had a green card. Did an immigration judge strip you of that green card? Only an immigration judge can strip you of the green card, okay? Excuse me. Let's go with Freedom Now's good questions tonight. Thank you. Let's see. Anything going on with respect to Liberia? I have not heard any news regarding Liberia. Okay. Let's see, how do I file for the re-entry permit? Go to USCIS's website, pull up the form I-131. Their instructions are there, and it'll tell you how to do that. It's a very easy process. If you have a conditional green card and you have your 48-month extension, is it okay to travel outside of the country? Yes, it is safe to travel. Do not stay out too long on that with that process. And everyone is traveling at their own risk. You guys are going to get tired of hearing me say that, but I'm just going to cover myself and say it that way. It's all at your own risk. Why? Because every day we're hearing all these different stories from individuals on TikTok. If there are any stories involving our client, I will specifically tell you, here's what's happening from our world. Here's what is happening from the American Immigration Lawyers Association or any other association that we're part of. But on TikTok, as you guys know, and YouTube, you're hearing everybody else's stories. So we know that a lot of strange things are happening now with travel. Is there a way for my daughter's Haitian father to get a visitor visa? Yes, he could seek one. I don't know where he's located right now. Is he in the DR, another country? Because the embassy in Haiti is not functioning, right? As far as I know. What about Cameroonians? I've discussed that already, that I don't know anything about what's happening with TPS for Cameroon. I don't know, that I don't think they're not open. They don't like TPS. They don't like diversity visa. That's another one, right? The lottery, although I don't have any specific news on that one yet, but we just know that something's coming related to everything consular related. The embassies and consulates across the globe were instructed recently that they've got to cut their workforce by 10% for now, 10%. And so we're expecting a global slowdown of visa process and visa interviews and all of that. If you are a U visa applicant, should you worry about reporting to ICE? So there have been some reports about the fact that some U visa applicants who had been reporting to ICE were actually arrested during that time. I don't know the numbers. I don't know how widespread this activity is. Work with your lawyer, speak with your lawyer about this, see if your lawyer can go with you on your check-in and discuss contingency plans in the event you are detained when you report to ICE, whether you have a U visa case or any case or no case at all. If you're going to be checking in with ICE, make sure you have a plan B in the event you are arrested by them. Keep going, guys. Let's see, Freedom Now. Someone says, is it true that if you have a green card, that if you've had your green card for under 2 years or less than 2 years, you can't travel internationally? I've seen the same videos of people sharing their stories that you have probably seen about this issue. I have not seen anything official come out yet. I've heard that people are having a difficult time who have had a green card for less than 2 years, but I have not seen anything officially to suggest that you cannot travel if you have if you've had a green card for under 2 years. Okay, you guys see that I'm obviously still recovering here. I could keep going and going and going, but I think I'm going to have to listen to my body in about 5 minutes, okay? I've discussed the update on Haiti TPS. Watch the replay of this, okay? Freedom Now. My brother just became a citizen. Can he help me? He could file an I-130 for you. That's pretty much what he can do at this time. Okay, let's keep going. Okay. Any update on military parole in place? No, not at this time. Not at this time. Let's see. The fiance process, someone's asking about withdrawing the petition. The fiance process we're expecting it will be really frustrated over the next 4 years because of the expected slowdown that will occur at U.S. embassies around the globe. I've always favored a marriage case over a fiance visa case. Is anything happening with the F4 cases right now? Check the visa bulletin. That's all that I could ever say about that category. It's so lengthy. I have nothing. I don't know what else to say. I'm not going to make anything up. It's long. It's very long. Check the visa bulletin. That's really it. Track the visa bulletin. What do I think about the lawsuit that was filed yesterday in federal court against suspending TPS for Venezuela? I have not looked at it. It's being challenged, as is most things right now. We'll see how that goes. But I have not looked at that. I hope it works out in their favor. But one thing to note is that the president has a lot of authority over immigration, generally speaking, but there is a way and process for things to be rolled back, and there's an orderly way of handling things through what our regulations say. And so I don't know what was argued in that lawsuit. I hope that it will be successful, because the manner by which they have been doing some things have been illegal, some things have not been illegal. Okay, they just have the power to do certain things, but a lot of other things is illegal. Okay, including the birthright citizenship, which we shared today. Also, that with birthright citizenship, that's going to go up to the Supreme Court very soon, in light of the fact that the Ninth Circuit denied an emergency, an emergency request by the Trump administration. It just triggered things to move faster to get it up to the U.S. Supreme Court. So birthright citizenship will be something that they're going to be looking at. Has the questions for the naturalization interview changed? Not that I have seen. No, it has not changed. Thank you, guys. Let's do this. I'm banning on YouTube. Okay. Let's look at YouTube. Okay, let's go. Freedom Now. Go down. If I have TPS, can I travel? Yes, you can still travel, with your travel document that you say that you have. You could still travel. Are they deporting legal immigrants? So I have no. There's a process to deport, and the process to deport goes through an immigration judge usually, unless there are individuals who are caught, I should say, at the border trying to come into the United States illegally, or even at an airport trying to come into the United States illegally. They're deported right away. They don't have any rights. Those individuals, but most everyone else have rights to go through the lengthy removal process before an immigration judge, and that judge makes the decision about deportation. Okay, guys, I'm going to have to go now. Thank you so much for being with me this evening. I'm sorry to have been the one to break some bad news. Some of you already knew about it because you read the news. Reach out to us at McBean Law, 914-898-9488 for a consultation to talk about your immigration process problem and how we might be able to assist you. Thank you guys so very much for being with me tonight. It was wonderful being with you. And guys, I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.